Hi, and welcome back to Plating It with Wendy, where I share with you recipes which impress with ease. Today we are making chicken shawarma. Shawarma is traditionally made by cutting the meat into thin slices and then layering it in an inverted cone and roasting it in a slow turning vertical spit. Today I'm going to show you my way of making shawarma with ease at home. So let's get started. For this recipe, we're going in with 2 pounds, which is approximately 910 grams of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Now you could always go in with chicken breast or a combination of chicken breast and chicken thighs, but I prefer going in with the dark meat for more flavor. Now we're going to season the chicken with 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons paprika, 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of sumac, quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder, quarter teaspoon of cinnamon powder, quarter teaspoon ground cardamom, quarter teaspoon of ground cloves, quarter teaspoon of black pepper, and salt to taste. And I'm going in with about 1.5 teaspoon of salt. And to the dry ingredients, we're also going to add 2 teaspoons of garlic paste and 2 teaspoons of tomato paste. To bring the marinade together, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Now let's whisk this and bring it all together. Now let's add this all into the bowl with the chicken. And now we're going to go in there with our kitchen tongs and make sure that every piece of the chicken gets coated with the marinade and that we get every nook and cranny covered with the marinade. Shawarma is a very common Middle Eastern street food, and now it's become popular worldwide. Now this is looking good, so we're going to cover this up and marinate it for at least half an hour. If you have time on your hands, 2 to 3 hours would be great, and overnight, of course, would give you the best results. Now while the chicken is marinating, let's quickly put together our sauce. So now for the sauce, we're going to go in with 1 cup of mayo or mayonnaise. Just going to add that to the jar of our mixer. And to lighten it up, we're going to add 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. To freshen it up, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of lemon juice and 2 teaspoons of white vinegar. To balance the flavors, we're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of sugar, or you could add honey as well. And we're going to go in with 1 garlic clove, and I like to grate it inside because that adds to the flavor. Just going to use the microplane here to grate it fine. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds, half a teaspoon of dried oregano, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and salt to taste. And I'm just going in with 2 pinches of salt. We could add in more later. And now to help to emulsify the sauce, we're going to go in with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now let's blend it and bring the sauce together. Look how silky smooth our sauce has turned out. Now let's keep it aside and start cooking up the chicken. To cook the chicken, we're going to heat up a skillet and drizzle on about 2 tablespoons of oil. And now we're going to place just a few bits of the chicken in the pan because we want a good sear. We don't want to steam the chicken. And once you have a good sear on one side, you're going to flip it over and allow it to sear on the other side as well. And once the chicken has seared on the second side, you're going to lower the heat, flip the chicken over, and now allow the chicken to cook. Now we're going to flip it over so that it gets a chance to cook on the other side as well. Look at that beautiful color that we've got. And now that the first batch of the chicken has cooked, we're going to transfer into a bowl and cook up the second batch. And once again, we're going to turn up the heat to medium-high while we sear up the second batch. And now we're going to add the second batch to the bowl. Now before we cut up the chicken into fine slices, we're going to allow it to rest for a little bit so that the juices get a chance to get locked in. Now in the same pan, to pick up all those flavors, we're going to add in 1 onion, which I've finely sliced. And it's a fairly large onion. And I've also finely sliced up half a red bell pepper, half a yellow bell pepper, and half a green bell pepper. And we're going to add that in at the same time. And let's season it just with a little sprinkle of salt. Now we're just going to toss this up and saute it just till it picks up all the flavor from the pan. You want to leave a little crunch in the onion and the peppers as well. This is looking perfect, so now we're going to take it off the heat. Slice up the chicken, and we're going to keep it fairly thin. You want to mimic the traditional style of the shaving. I can't wait to give this a taste. And now for the fun part. You could either enjoy the shawarma with some rice and salad at the side, or you can make it into a wrap. We're going to be making it into a wrap today. For that, you can either use the pita bread or the Sarge bread. Now the Sarge bread is quite big. So what I like to do if I'm using the Sarge bread is to cut it into half and roll it up. But today we are going to be using the pita bread. So we're first going to smack on a good portion of that delicious sauce that we made. And you can put as much or as little as you like, but I like a good helping of it. Now we're going to place some of that chicken down in the center. And now for that crunch, we're going to add the onions and the bell peppers. And we're going to layer it with a tangy pickle slice on the top. Now let's add on some greens. And one of my favorite additions is the fries. And to finish it off, we're going to put a drizzle of pomegranate molasses. And this gives it a lovely flavor. Now grab all the confidence you have and roll it up into a wrap. And you're going to wrap it as tight as you can. Now this step is totally optional, but I like a toasted shawarma wrap. So on a heated skillet, we're going to put the shawarma down and we're going to allow it to toast. Just going to put a little pressure down so that it gets well toasted. And you always want to place it seam side down first. And now when it's toasted on one side, you're going to flip it over and let it toast on the other side as well. Oh my goodness, look at that. And now it's time to give the chicken shawarma a taste. Just see how delicious that's looking. I'm so excited. Wow. Wow, this chicken shawarma wrap is absolutely amazing. There's such a burst of flavor with every bite. You've got to give this recipe a try. So hop onto my website, platingitwithwendy.com, or you can hit on the link in the description box below for the full written recipe. Thanks for watching. See you soon.